Hey, it's AP, and today I'm sculpt coating a Yoda statue. Check it out. Have you been getting hit up with tons of ads from Sculpt Coat? Well, I have, and I finally took the plunge and decided to buy myself a pound of the stuff. What is Sculpt Coat, you might be asking? Well, it is a polymer-based stone-like coating that you can put onto your 3D prints to make them look like statues or busts or museum quality relics, any kind of thing. It's super cool, especially with all the bust things out there. I printed out this Yoda bust off of, I think, Thingiverse, and that's what I'm going to use for this experiment today. I will tell you that I have done one already. This is a gargoyle head from my Halloween episode, which never aired, unfortunately. And it was printed in PLA, and I put on 3 coats of the Sculpt Coat. And as you can see, it has a really cool stony-like texture to it. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination on here. I learned a lot in my first go-around that I'm hoping to apply to this one. So for now, we'll just kind of hang this in my son's room to give him something to talk to his therapist about down the line.
What brings you here with us today?
Well, I just really met my dad for the first time 5 days ago.
I was partially frozen his whole life.
So what are you going to need? Well, you're going to need some Sculpt Coat, which this is #not sponsored. I actually did purchase this with my own hard-earned money. You will need a 3D print to coat. You will need some brushes, a little place to mix your Sculpt Coat, and some water. And that's it. And all you do is you brush on, let it dry, brush on some more, let it dry, brush on some more, until you have a beautiful statue. So let's give this a whirl. There are different versions of the Sculpt Coat. I got the soapstone gray, and by versions I mean colors. This is the soapstone gray. They also have a chalkstone white and a ashstone black, which I might pick up once I master this to use on a particular project that's lurking over my shoulder over there. How cool will that look in black stone? Oh, we'll find out. So like I said, there are some things that I've learned along the way, and I took a bunch of notes. There's also a very active Discord server where makers and users, as well as Sculpt Coat themselves, are very active in answering questions and sharing tips and tricks and techniques, as well as all the beautiful things that they've been making. So definitely join the Discord server to start learning more about this. All you need is a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with this. The working time is like 15 or 20 minutes. And you do have to put on multiple coats, and you do have to let it cure in between coats. And the cure time is actually 15 to 20 minutes as well. I am going to put on a mask because this is a powder, and I do not want to be inhaling any of this stuff and turning my insides into stone. How terrible would that be? Now, before putting this on, I did put on some automotive primer on here just to help it stick. Since plastic is non-porous, I needed something for this to grip to. This one, I did not prime beforehand, and it's actually still holding pretty strong. So, you know, I'm erring on the side of caution on this one, so that's why I put on some primer. But like I said, this has been on. I haven't done anything rough with it to test the hardness. I'm not going to go outside and kick it around in the backyard, but it seems still be holding on, which is great. So you do you, but I put on primer for this. So I'm just going to take a little scoop, and it looks like almost like concrete or mortar. I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon or a heaping spoonful. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of water, and you just want it to be the consistency of a milkshake or smoother. So, and again, like mortar or drywall mud, it doesn't take a lot of water to get it consistent. So I just put a little bit in here, stir it up. I'm gonna pour a little bit more in there. How thick is a milkshake? Boom, 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 boom. See, that might be a little too thin. And again, I am no expert at this, so definitely hop into the Discord server to ask questions from Sculpt Coat or get answered by Sculpt Coat directly, and others who have gone before me. But this seems more like milk, like whole milk, than anything. And actually, that's okay. Let's try it. The first one, the gargoyle, I did pretty thick. Let's try this one a little bit thinner. So this is more like the thickness of whole milk. And it's the first coat. You are going to put on multiple coats. So let's start. And I think what's good about the thinner coats is that it won't cover up the details on my friend Yoda here as much as a thicker coat would. So let's see. Yeah, but also with the thinner, you're going to have to be careful with the drippage and all of that stuff. But yeah, you just brush it on. Reminder, you have about 15 minutes of working time with this. The light coat is also really good at covering up any printing imperfections, but at the same time preserving finer details like all of Yoda's wrinkles. So now I'm going to clean my brush in my bowl. I'm not going to flush this down the sink. I am going to dump it in the trash. But definitely wash these out in between. And then we're going to let this cure for about 15-20 minutes, come back and put on the second coat. So let's take a break. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes. So I would say this is mostly cured and ready for my second coat. All right, so let's mix up our second batch. Just like before, we're going to make a thin batch. Now don't go too thin. You want to get that milkshake consistency again. That's not going to get old. Just brush on the way you did before. Again, try not to get too heavy, especially on these more detailed prints. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a lump of clay. Second coat is on. I'm going to give this a little bit longer to cure this time. So come back to this in a little bit, but it's looking really nice. All right, see you in about 45 minutes. Oh, okay, so I took a little nap, so this was a little bit longer than 45 minutes. I just feel like when I'm in my old age, I'm really appreciating the afternoon nap on a Sunday. All right, so this looks like it's mostly cured. It's dry to the touch. So the detail on him is actually looking pretty good. At this point, I'm feeling comfortable doing a little sanding work. I'm starting with 000 steel wool to gently knock down the high spots. You can also use very high grit sandpaper like 800, 1000, or 3000. I switched between the steel wool and sandpaper through most of this project. The key here is to not go too hard with it. It's not 100% cured yet, so it is possible to sand off the stone and expose the 3D print. And then, all the magic would be gone.
This isn't real. What is real?
Now that we're sanded down, we can put our third coat on. Same drill, milkshake smooth. Paint on, dry brush the wet high spots. Now it's time for our final cure. Hey folks, Future AP here. Something wonky happened while I was recording this, and so now I have to come to you from the future to tell you about the final curing process for this. Now, the curing for Sculpt Coat is a little bit counter to what you think you know about how things dry. You would think that air helps with the drying process and the curing process, but with Sculpt Coat, that is not the case. With Sculpt Coat, you actually have to secure the moist sculpture in a bag or a kind of airtight bin. Ideally a bag, but I didn't have any bags, I guess. So I decided to put it into a tote bin that fit this actually kind of perfectly. There's something about the moisture and the lack of air that actually helps make a strong final product for this. Again, I failed chemistry, so I don't know how all of this stuff works. Anyway, you put it in the bin for 24 hours, and then when you come back, it's ready to be exposed to the air for another 48. Okay, back to past AP to finish this project. After letting Yoda live in his tote bin for 24 hours, I took him out to give him another light sanding. At this point, it's still not 100% cured, but now strong enough for some additional work. I'm using 800 and up grit on him. All right, let's let him sit for another 48 hours. All right, well, it's actually been more than 72 hours at this point. And I think my Yoda is pretty much cured. There are some dark spots on here, and I don't know if that's because, it doesn't feel wet, but it looks like it didn't fully cure even after this much time. So I don't know. It looks okay though. So now I'm going to start polishing it. And to do that, I'm going to use a 3000 grit sanding pad. And I also have my 000 steel wool as well. And we'll see if that just kind of shines it up a little bit. And then I'm going to put a matte coat of, a matte clear coat on it. So again, protect yourself. Yeah, okay. Let me go wipe them down, and then we'll put a clear coat on. So the clear coat I'm going to use is just a matte clear. The Sculpt Coat folks recommend chalked, which is also a Rust-Oleum product, I believe, but I didn't have any. And I have a ton of this stuff, so I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to go outside and put a couple coats of this on, and then we'll decide whether or not to weather this after the clear coat's on. I don't want to weather it right now, mostly because I just don't want, I like to err on the side of caution when it comes to things like that. So when you put a clear coat on, then you start your weathering, it's easier to fix your weathering mistakes versus throwing it onto the now porous material, have it in bed, and then you're kind of stuck with what you have. So let's clear coat it and then we'll weather it. All right, so I put my matte clear coat on and I am pretty good with the end result here. So I'm not going to do any further aging on this. I feel perfectly satisfied with it. I might even display it on my mantle. Actually, probably not. Maybe I'll give it to a friend. A friend would like this. If you are a friend of the channel, please let me know in the comments. And, maybe that's what we'll do. We can do a little giveaway. If you would be interested in having this, I'll even sign the bottom of it. Even though I didn't design it, but I did finish it. If you would be interested in having this, leave me a comment below and tell me one thing that you have 3D printed or would like to 3D print and turn into stone. Maybe it'll inspire me. And then I will randomly select from those who leave me comments. Anyway, whoever wins, I will let you know in the comments, or I'll reply back to your comment. This could be fun, right? I want a little piece of Made by AP. Have you used Sculpt Coat on any of your projects and saw something that I did that you wouldn't do, or you have a different technique that you'd like to use, or even have some pointers on how to weather these things? Well, let me know that in the comments below as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you a thing. It does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.